Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Before I start today's topic about ureter, you have to know something about our kidney also. In my last video, I introduced you as a minor calyces, major calyces. So about something that few minor calyces combines together and forms one major calyces. Okay, as you can see in this photo. And few major calyces, mostly 3 or 4 major calyces combines together and continues as a hollow tubal organ is known as renal pelvis, and these renal pelvis get out of the kidney and it get downwards. Okay, it continues as downward, and after few distance this hollow tube continues as a ureter. Renal pelvis, the name changes into ureter. Okay, so this ureter I'm going to discuss today. So the entire length of the ureter in adult body is 10 inch long, where you can divide it into 2 parts. I mean the upper 5 inch remains in our abdomen and the lower 5 inch remains inside of our pelvic bone. Okay, and the circumference or the diameter inside of the tube is almost 3 millimeter, and it has few constriction point, I mean few narrow point. At the narrow point the diameter is become almost 1 millimeter. Okay, now the course or the pathway of our ureter. See, few major calyces combines together and forms our renal pelvis, which looks like a funnel. Okay, it is actually hollow tube-shaped organ. It gets out our kidney medially and it goes downward. Okay, now when it comes at the lower point of the kidney, and it goes downward, at this point the name changes into ureter. Okay, so basically ureter is our continuation part of our renal pelvis. That's it, nothing else. Now this ureter goes behind our peritoneum. Ureter is not part of our peritoneum. Okay, so it goes behind our peritoneum and it goes straight downward towards our pelvic bone. Okay, now inside area of the pelvic bone is known as true pelvis. I will talk about these things later. Now this ureter goes towards our true pelvis. Okay, when it enters in our pelvis, it initially goes laterally. It goes laterally and it comes at the point where our greater sciatic notch lies. Okay, greater sciatic notch is a part of our pelvic bone. Now when it comes near the greater sciatic notch and our ischial tuberosity, okay, at the level of ischial tuberosity, this ureter flips forward. Okay, it goes forward and medially. Okay, it goes forward, I mean the anteriorly forward or anteriorly, same word. So it goes forward medially and enters in our urinary bladder. Okay, now I will talk about bladder in my next topic, not today. Now as I said, our ureter has few constriction point. Basically it has 5 constriction point, or the narrow area of our narrow area. Okay, narrow area where the margin or the circumference or the diameter of the ureter comes around 1 millimeter. Okay, as you can see in this photo, our first constriction is our pelvic-ureteric junction, PUJ. Okay, I mean where the renal pelvis continues as ureter or the lower point of the kidney. Next constriction is when it crosses our pelvic brim. The third constriction point is our, in male we have our ductus deferens. I will talk about this tube, ductus deferens. This is part of our genital system. I will talk about it later. And in female, when it crosses the broad ligament of our uterus. Okay, uterus is also our genital organ. I will talk about later, not now. And the fourth constriction point is when it enters in the bladder wall. Okay, when it enters in our bladder wall. That's it. And the fifth constriction point is our lateral angle of trigone. Okay, I mean the inside of our bladder, our ureter opens, and when the opening point, it has constriction. Now you need to know that adjacent structures related to our ureter. See, anteriorly of our renal pelvis. Okay, as I said, ureter is a continuation part of our renal pelvis, so I have to talk renal pelvis anyway. So anteriorly, right side of our kidney, right side of our renal pelvis, anteriorly it has second part of the duodenum, renal artery, renal vessels. Okay, few coils of jejunum and peritoneum. These are common. In the left side we has pancreas, then same renal artery, renal vein, few coils of duodenum and peritoneum. That's it. And posteriorly, posteriorly to the posterior part of the renal pelvis, it has only psoas major muscle. That's it, nothing else. Now the ureter, as you can see in this photo, the right side of our ureter, it has our third part of duodenum, peritoneum, right colic vessels. Right colic means our ascending colon, okay, and the vessels means our artery and vein. So artery are supplying, veins are draining, same old concept. So the right colic vessels, ileocolic vessels, the artery and vein from our ileum and colon. Gonadal vessels, in male you will find testicular artery, testicular vein, and in female you will find ovarian artery, ovarian vein. The right side, for the right side only. Also you will find the terminal part of the ileum and the root of mesentery. And for the left side, in left side you will find same peritoneum, same gonadal artery, gonadal vein, then left colic vessels, also sigmoid colon and sigmoid mesocolon. Now posteriorly you will find the psoas major muscle and genito-femoral nerve. Now inside of the pelvic bone, this ureter, both sides posteriorly you will find internal iliac artery, internal iliac vein, lumbosacral plexus, okay, and sacroiliac joint. That's it. Laterally both sides you will find fascia covering the obturator internus, then superior vesical artery, obturator nerve, obturator vein, obturator artery. That's it. Then our inferior vesical vein. You will find also medial rectal artery, the artery supplying our rectum. Anyway, then in female you will find the posterior boundary of ovarian fossa as the ureter flips forward and goes anteromedially towards the urinary bladder. You will find in male it is related to our ductus deferens and seminal vesicle. These are the genital organ of our males. I will talk about those later. And in female you will find the extraperitoneal connective tissue, broad ligament of uterus, then uterine artery, uterine vein, okay, then supravaginal portion of the cervix. I will talk about those things later, okay, don't worry. Now the intravesical part, as you can see in this photo, when this ureter enters inside of our urinary bladder, okay, intravesical means vesicle or as I said, urinary bladder is also known as the vesicle, okay. Now intravesical part means when the ureter enters into the urinary bladder, after going around 2 to 2.5 centimeter, it ends at the opening of the bladder. This opening area is known as trigone. Now the blood supply. Blood supply has two parts. One is arterial supply and venous drainage. Same as old. The both blood supply and venous drainage, I am talking as combined vessels, okay? Artery, vein, combined vessels. So the upper half is supplied by few branches from our renal vessels, okay? Also few branches from gonadal vessels, both sides, okay? In male, testicular vessels, and in female, ovarian vessels, right side, left side, okay? Now in the lower half, it is supplied by vesicular branches, okay? Vesicular means vesicle. Vesicle means our urinary bladder. The urinary bladder, okay, urinary bladder, okay? I will talk about it later. Now it will also get supply few branches from middle rectal vessels, okay? Middle rectal artery, middle rectal vein, anyway. In female, it has extra supply, okay? Because in female, they have uterus, okay? It is a genital organ. I will talk about it later. Now, uterus also has blood supply. Nerve supply of our ureter comes from the sympathetic and parasympathetic segment. Sympathetic comes from our T10 to L1. The 10th thoracic vertebra to the first lumbar vertebra. All the nerves are going and goes to supply our sympathetic part. And the parasympathetic part comes from our S2 to S4. The second sacral vertebra to the fourth sacral vertebra. Now, as you can see in this photo, if you cut our ureter in half section and you put it under microscope, you will find ureter has actually three layers, okay? Innermost mucous membrane, then middle layer of smooth muscle, okay, and the outer tunica adventitia, okay? And the inside of the ureter, it is lined by our transitional epithelium, okay? This is our basic anatomy of our ureter. I hope you liked it, and if you like it, then subscribe and share next video of our urinary bladder. Till then, bye.